Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 7, Further Inquiries by Vidura. So today we are starting this new chapter today. Text number 1. Shri Shukvacha Evam Bruvanam Maithreyam Dvaipayan Suto Buddha Prinayan Niv Bharatya Vidura Pratyabhashita. Shri Shukdev Goswami said, O king, while Maitreya, the great sage, was thus speaking, Vidura, the learned son of Dvaipayan Vyas, expressed a request in a pleasing manner by asking this question. So Vidurji is asking a question to Maitreya Muni. Further he is asking, and Vidurji is son of Dvaipayan Vyasadeva. So that's true. Text 2. Viduruvacha Brahman katham bhagavatash chinmatrasya vikarinaha Lilya chapi yujjeran nirgunasya gnaha kriyaha. Shri Vidura said, O great Brahman, since the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a complete spiritual whole and is unchangeable, how is he connected with the material modes of nature and their activities? If this is his pastime, how do the activities of the unchangeable take place and exhibit qualities without the modes of nature? So this question has perplexed many people in the past, and even so today, that Krishna is beyond the modes of material nature, and he doesn't change his position. So how does these activities take place within the modes of nature, within this material world? As described in the previous chapter, the difference between the Supersoul, the Supreme Lord, and the living entities is that the activities of the Lord in creating the cosmic manifestation are performed by the Lord through the agency of his multifarious energies. But this manifestation is bewildering to the living entities. The Lord is therefore the master of the energies, whereas the living entities are subjugated by them. By asking various questions about transcendental activities, Vidura is clearing the misconception that when the Lord either descends on the earth in his incarnation or appears himself with all his potencies, he too is subjected to the influence of Maya, just like an ordinary living entity. So this is a big, big confusion. And so-called Mayavad philosophers, they say he is subjected to Maya, or he is a product of Maya, just like we are. Original is Nirguna, Nirvikar, Brahman. And when that Brahman wants to come, I don't know how that Brahman develops a desire to come to the earth. When there is no form, how can he have a desire? But this is how they explain. So somehow he develops a desire, and when he wants to come, then he has to take the form. And he takes up a form made of material modes of nature. But this is not true. Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita also he said that, and Bhagavatam is full of these quotations, that he never changes his position. He's always spiritual, transcendental. And Prabhupada says, this is generally the calculation of less intelligent philosophers who consider the position of the Lord and that of the living entities to be on the same level. Vidura is hearing the great sage Maitreya refute these arguments. The Lord is described in this verse as Chinmatra, or completely spiritual. The personality of Godhead has unlimited potencies to create and manifest many wonderful things, both temporary and permanent. Because this material world is the creation of his external energy, it thus appears to be temporary. It is manifested at certain intervals, maintained for some time, and again dissolved and conserved in its own energy. As described in Bhagavad Gita, Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate. So this material world manifests and unmanifests, and again dissolved and conserved in its own energy after some time. But the spiritual world remains, the soul remains as it is, and so does the Supreme Lord. But the creation of his internal potency, the spiritual world, is not a temporary manifestation like the material world, but is eternal and full of transcendental knowledge, opulence, energy, strength, beauties, and glories. Such manifestation of the Lord's potencies are eternal and are therefore called nirguna, or free from all tinges of the modes of material nature, even up to the mode of material goodness. So spiritual world, spiritual realm is nirguna. Nirguna means it doesn't have any material qualities, material modes. It's not influenced. It's even beyond the mode of goodness. But nirguna, people with less intelligence, they translate it as no guna, no qualities. That's why they say it's the supreme must be Brahman, because Brahman has no qualities. But they don't understand even Brahman is beyond this material mode of goodness. And it is Shuddha Sattva platform. That's where it starts. Since the Supreme Lord of such eternal and unchangeable qualities is never subjugated by anything like material influence, how can his activities and form be conceived to be under the influence of illusory Maya, as is the case with the living entities? A juggler or magician displays many wonders with his acts and arts. He can become a cow by his magical tactics, and yet he is not that cow. But at the same time, the cow displayed by the magician is not different from him. Similarly, the material potency is not different from the Lord because it is an emanation from him. But at the same time, that manifestation of potency is not the Supreme Lord. The material world is just his manifestation of some of his energies. That's it. But that doesn't mean the material energy is same as the Supreme Lord. It's just some of his energies. That's a very insignificant part. The Lord's transcendental knowledge and potency always remain the same. They do not change, even when displayed in the material world. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord descends on the earth by his own internal potency, and therefore there is no question of his becoming materially contaminated, changed, or otherwise affected by the modes of material nature. The Lord is Saguna by his own internal potency, but at the same time he is Nirguna, since he is not in touch with the material energy. So he doesn't have any material qualities, but he is full of spiritual qualities, spiritual gunas. The restrictions of the prison house are applicable to prisoners who are condemned by the king's law, but the king is never affected by such implications, although he may visit the prison house of his own goodwill. The Prabhupada trying to explain is if prison house is there, that is also energy of the king, and the king comes to the prison house to see the prisoners. The prisoners are under the rules of prison house. King is never under the rule of prison house. And not just the king, the officers employed by the king, assigned by the king to rule over the prison house, to supervise the prison house, they're also not subjected to the laws of the prison house. They don't break the laws. They appear to be following the laws, but they're not under the laws because they're not the prisoners. In the Vishnu Puran, the 6 opulences of the Lord are stated to be non-different from him. The opulence of transcendental knowledge, strength, opulence, potency, beauty, and renunciation are all identical with the personality of Godhead. When he personally displays such opulences in the material world, they have no connection with the modes of material nature. The very word matritva is a guarantee that the Lord's activities are always transcendental, even when displayed in the material world. His activities are as good as the Supreme Personality himself. Otherwise, liberated devotees like Shukdev Goswami would not have been attracted by them. So, anything that he does, all his qualities, because they belong to they are the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They're all on the absolute level. Everything was in the absolute level, means everything is transcendental. Whether his name, whether his activities, whether his opulences, whether his dealings with his devotees, whether his activities of killing the demons, they all are transcendental, all are spiritual. Whether he's stealing butter, that's also spiritual. So we should not discriminate between his activity, different pastimes, that, oh, I just want to listen to his dealing with the gopis. No. And Prabhupada has explained someplace else that his participating in Mahabharat war in Kurukshetra is of the same quality as his dealing with the gopis. There's no difference. The inability, Vidura inquired how the Lord's activities can be in the modes of material nature, as is sometimes miscalculated by persons with a poor fund of knowledge. The inability of the material qualities is due to the difference between the material body and the spirit soul. The conditioned soul's activities are displayed through the medium of the modes of material nature and are therefore perverted in appearance. However, the Lord's body and the Lord himself are one and the same. And when the Lord's activities are displayed, they are certainly non-different from the Lord in all respect. The conclusion is that persons who consider the Lord's activities material are certainly mistaken. So that's that one mistake we should not make, thinking that Krishna's activities are material. Text 3. Kridayam udyamo arvasya kamaschikridishanyatah swatastriptasya cha katham nivrittasya sadanyatah. Boys are enthusiastic to play with other boys or with various diversions because they are encouraged by desire. But there is no possibility of such desire for the Lord because he is self-satisfied and detached from everything at all times. So Vidurji is giving this example that boys want to play with other boys because they are encouraged by desire. The Lord has no such desire. Why he commits why he does all his pastimes. So Krishna doesn't do pastimes because of his desire or own desire. His desire is to please his devotees and to enjoy with his devotees. That's a different kind of desire. Let's see what Prabhupada says. Since the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one without a second, there is no possibility that anything besides him can exist. He expands himself by his energies in multi-forms of self-expansions and separated expansions as well, just as fire expands itself by heat and light. Since there is no existence besides the Lord himself, the Lord's association with anything manifests his association with himself. The complete manifestation of the cosmic situation is an expansion of the Lord himself in his impersonal feature. All things are situated in him only, yet he is not in them. That is the opulence of the Lord's attachment and detachment. He is attached to everything, yet he is detached from all. So this verse, we did spend some time on this one. The complete manifestation of the cosmic situation is an expansion of the Lord Himself in His impersonal feature. So all things are situated in Him only, yet He is not in them. So understanding that nothing is separate from Krishna, even the material world, that's His energy. And Krishna having multifarious energies and His different aspects. Different aspects are Bhagwan feature, Paramatma, and Brahmjyoti. So they are all different aspects of Krishna. So if something is existing in the Brahmjyoti or in the impersonal feature of the Lord, that's still in Him, but He Himself, as Shyam Sundar Krishna, is not there. Just like we are in the material world, this is all energy of Krishna. So this is all, we can say it's an impersonal feature of Krishna. But Krishna as person, as He Himself, is not here. In every atom, He is present as Paramatma. So that's another of His feature. But He Himself, as Shyam Sundar Krishna, is not in everything and everywhere. They're His expansions, Paramatma and Brahmjyoti, no doubt. So we have to understand these three different aspects of Krishna. With them, these three aspects, He pervades everywhere. But He Himself, as Shyam Sundar Krishna, is not everywhere. He is there wherever His devotee is chanting His name. He is there where devotee is doing His katha, glorifying His pastimes, glorifying His qualities. He is there. He is there wherever His devotee is making an offering to Him, to accept those offerings. He is there wherever His devotee is in trouble, to protect His devotees. He is there. Personally, He is there. But rest everywhere is not. Himself, He is not there. It's hard to understand because people say, and we have grown up hearing this, that Bhagwan is everywhere. He is in every atom. Kan kan mein hai Bhagwan, which is true. He is in every atom as Paramatma, not as Shyam Sundar Krishna. That difference, not too many people know about. That's why if we remember when Arjun saw that Vishwarupa form of the Lord, now that form of the Lord is again non-different from Krishna, but Arjun got scared looking at that form. Because there is no way for a devotee to reciprocate with the Virat Rupa form of the Lord. To see the Virat Rupa as body of Krishna, great. When we go out, we should see the mountains as his bones, and the trees as the hair on his body, and different features. We should see it. We should be able to see Krishna like that, or Virat Rupa like that. The material energy, how nature, how everything is situated on the body of Krishna. But still, a devotee wants to have personal relationship with Shyam Sundar Krishna. So his hankering is to see that form, to reciprocate with that form, to lovingly serve that form, to be in the pastimes with Shyam Sundar Krishna, not to be in pastimes with the Virat Rupa. What pastimes we can have? Nothing. So different aspects of Bhagwan, different aspects of Krishna have different features. And according to our level of advancement, we can relate with that feature accordingly. But the final word is Bhagwan. And even among all incarnations, every jiva has a specific relationship with a specific incarnation. But since we are somehow by mercy of Prabhupada, we have come into this movement of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, those who have become perfect or those who will become perfect in this movement or on this path of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, following this philosophy, so they will have their own Swarupa in Golok Vrindavan with Krishna and Srimati Radharani and the gopis. In that mood, they will be existing there. It's not to say the other moods in Vaikuntha Loka are not good or not great. It doesn't mean that. Like Hanumanji's relationship with Ram, how can we say it's any less than any Gopa boys with Krishna? Or Prahlad Maharaj, we'll read about Prahlad Maharaj in 7th canto, very, very detailed. But his relationship is with Lord Nrsimhadev. He's not in his relationship with Krishna. But does that make him any lesser than any other devotee? No. So that relationship comes later on when in the spiritual world. We are not even there to even understand all these relationships. But to understand that our relationship is not with Brahman feature or Paramatma feature or the universal form feature. That's definitely no. So that's why we have to work on a relationship with the Bhagwan feature. Text 4. Asrakshit Bhagwan Vishwam Gunmayatma Mayaya Taya Sanstapya Etat Adbhuya Pratipitah Sati. By his self-sheltered potency of the three modes of material nature, the Lord has caused the creation of this universe. By her, he maintains the creation and conversely dissolves it again and again. This cosmic universe is created by the Lord for those living entities who are carried away by the illusory thought of becoming one with him by imitation. The three modes of material nature are for the further bewilderment of the conditioned souls. Conditioned living entity, bewildered by the illusory energy, considers himself a part of the material creation due to forgetfulness of his spiritual identity. And thus he becomes entangled in material activities life after life. So we have forgotten our relationship with Krishna. So that's why we have come under the capture of illusory energy or Maya. And that's when Maya means under the three modes of material nature. That's the first thing Maya Devi does. And thus he becomes entangled in material activities, life after life. We are getting entangled. Entangled, what does entangled mean? It means so much of engrossed, so much of captured and under the clutches of Maya. And the way Maya works, it doesn't let us realize or even experience that we are under her clutches. We think I'm controlling Maya, I'm enjoying Maya. But we are not. Maya is controlling us at every single moment of the day. And we are not enjoying, we are here to suffer. We just have to have eyes opened by the mercy of spiritual master. Then we realize we are suffering big time. So, and then we realize I have to get out of this entanglement. How to get out? That path is also provided by the spiritual master. And then when we start working on that path seriously, sincerely, with determination, dedication, then we get the mercy of Krishna and the Guru to make further and further progress. But right now, we are so much captivated by Maya. At least we know we are captivated by Maya. The 99.99% of living entities in the material world, they don't even know they are entangled, they're captivated. So at least we know. That's all we can say. Other than that, yes, we all are struggling to make progress. Progress is slow, but there is no other option. Just like I think I posted it today, Prabhupada's quotation, that yes, spiritual progress is very difficult, but living in the material world is close to impossible. It is impossible. It's so dangerous. The material world is not for the purpose of the Lord himself, but is for the conditioned souls who wanted to be controllers due to misuse of the God-gifted minute independence. Thus, the conditioned souls are subjected to repeated birth and death. So, nice philosophical questions and points Vidurji is making. Anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. So we'll
Hare
stop
Krishna,
here. You all.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dhanurtana. Prabhuji, just wanted to check chapter 6. Prabhuji, I don't know whether I am confused or no, but were we not to do start chapter 6 or straight away because we went to chapter 7 today?
Prabhuji, I'm also confused. I was thinking,
Oh,
yes. I got just quiet. I said, maybe I may be wrong.
Sandhya Mataji just now raised this, so I thought, yeah.
Creation of the universal form. Okay, well, tomorrow we'll just start the chapter 6 then.
I thought I'm on the wrong page.
I'm sorry.
I was also going to ask you the same thing. We were covering some messages which are not in the 6th chapter.
We all are thinking that we are wrong.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We got to know extra.
So that explains how a conditioned soul is in the material world. We are completely illusioned. I didn't even know which chapter to discuss. Oh boy, the creation of the universal form. That's going to be lots of philosophy. So we'll love it.
I was reading that chapter this morning and I was wondering how come Prabhuji is not discussing anything I read.
I think we all are
I'm so sorry. You should have sent me a message or start me in the middle. That's okay.
I wanted to disturb you in between. The moment you start, I said, "Chal, ho sakta hai ki main na galat hu."
Still okay, Prabhuji. We learned something new.
It's okay.
Mistake. So we'll start chapter 6 tomorrow.
It's okay, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.